Veterans are the lifeblood of American freedom, serving in some of the harshest situations to secure that freedom across the globe. This is the Lounge with Legends show, celebrating their transformation from battlefield to business. The Lounge with Legends show with Marty the Moac Martinez and James A. Phelps, a.k.a. Spartan 6.
Boom. What's up, everybody? It's Father's Day week. It's the week of Father's Day. I was trying to think, what week is it? Holy Christ.
It's actually next week, to be technical. It's Sunday, right? So it'd be the next week.
Well, it depends how you
start. No,
some start their calendar on Sunday, some start on Monday.
Oh, forgot. You're all business. You're all business. I got you.
But now, so what's been going on what's going on this past week?
You're the one who's been traveling all over the world. I think you're going to have to be. You're a Florida resident, aren't you?
I am. I just got back.
It's a good thing that you are.
So we did last week. I was at Fort Lauderdale. We just got back, and so now you're traveling this week, though.
I am. I'm actually coming up to your neck of the woods.
I know. I've already locked the liquor cabinet. So.
Well, yesterday was the National Bourbon Day, so it's a good thing you locked it. That was first, so you can lock it up. It's fine.
National Bourbon Day, Flag Day, and the 247th Army birthday. Go Army, beat Navy.
Airborne.
But so, what's bringing you up here?
Yeah, so we're honored. We're going to be a part of history. So we're actually coming up to DC for the 50th anniversary of the Watergate situation that happened there. So I'm going to meet you, and we're going to go into the Senate there, aren't we?
Yeah, it's going to be great. We got David Vardaman coming.
Yep.
So he's tagging along, and then hopefully we can have some drinks at the Army Navy Club. I know it's 50 years. It's so crazy. And you're getting to go with Rufus. I mean, you left that's a huge part out. It's not just coming up here.
Yeah, Rufus Edmonston, he's the one that served. He served the papers to Richard Nixon for Watergate. So it's a historical event. Honestly, it's a great opportunity. I've never been inside the Senate House or any of that behind the scenes. So I'm going to go there legally, and we're going to go there, and we're going there to actually celebrate. Yeah, we're going to have passes and everything. So we're not going in. We're going in the right, legally and everything else. But anyway, with that being said, it's going to be a great day. We're going to ride up on the train tomorrow. We're leaving from Raleigh, North Carolina. Ride the train up there to DC. So I'm going to probably read a couple of books. I won't lie. I'll read maybe half of a book, which would be like a comic book or something. But I'll read something on the way up there. And then we'll link up and have some fellowship there on Friday. It's going to be amazing.
Looking forward to it. Coming up on June 30th, we have, there we go. We can see that one better. On June 30th, we're doing another month. We're doing another session of free training with Donald Miller and Story Brand. This month is focused on sales. We're going to work with you all to create sales scripts that close deals. Give you the formula, and we'll work with you as always, Donald Miller and Story Brand, they do the first hour. And then those that sign up with the go.jtf214 that James is putting in the comments right now, when you do that, you'll be in our Zoom room. So afterwards, you get an hour with us, and we'll help you create that little story sales script that closes. I'm thinking brand script, but so looking forward to that and getting some people signed up there. And but speaking of that, we got we're always talking about. Yeah, I was saying we're always talking about Story Brand and Donald Miller. You hear us talk a lot about Ray Edwards and the pastor method. Who do we got this week?
Legend, Air Force.
Okay, I thought there was more to it.
I thought you were going to be you usually the one that does the big, like the punch. I'm like left hook, and you're the jab. I'm the jab. You're the hook.
You can tell this is not scripted. So yes, we do have Air National Guard legend and BrandStrength Ray Edwards certified, just coach and all around good person, Lori Reeves. Her company is BrandStrength. I'm excited about this. We've had this one on the docket for a while, so we've been waiting for this one. So I think let's bring her on. What do you think, brother?
I'd say let's go.
Let's go.
Yes.
Always does that. James is always on the big screen. Welcome. Thanks for being our legend this week, Lori. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this as long as you've been looking forward to it.
We just illustrated the power of doing this live and and following the laws of power and not being perfect. So we just did that. That was amazing.
I think we could have had an entire, I was at Podfest, 3 weeks ago, and we could have just had an entire session just live versus recorded. And, you had the zealots, and then we're kind of like, well, that's what we do. But so, yeah, there were some people that are like, you don't have questions pre-planned? That's crazy. So the
best stuff comes out when you don't have everything pre-planned, I think.
I mean, you see it right here. This is what did Kim Walsh Phillips say? We are nothing if not authentic. So I was like, thank you very much. But
I said that to you, not to me, right?
I think so. Hey, we've already got joining in. We got Donnell Johns, Veterans Growing America. That's right. They got their event this week. And then we've got Brian.
They're crushing it.
Another event every week. But Lori, let's focus on you. Who are you and what do you do?
I am Lori Reeves. You want me to talk military first?
Let's start with the military. We'll start with the military and we'll get to clearly they know BrandStrength is coming.
Right. Perfect. So yes, I am currently in the Air National Guard. I have a very unique position in the military. I have done this the entire time I've been in the military, which is over 21 years now. I've been in my current unit for almost 19 years. It'll be 19 years in September. But I am actually in a band, which is a unique kind of combination of like the strong, hard military, the strength and the discipline and the focus. And then the lighter side, the more touchy-feely side of building relationships and, supporting people and thanking people. And so it's been a really interesting life, especially having done it all National Guard the whole time. I've been in the National Guard since the very beginning, which has also been a really unique way to build self-discipline, make sure that I can keep myself to standards that nobody else is holding over me, every single day. Right. But we have to maintain the same standards that people in active duty maintain. So you have to be able to have a civilian life and maintain everything that you need to do to have the standards that the military upholds for you as well. So it's been an interesting career for sure.
I mean, it's pretty fascinating. I mean, every time I talk to people that are in the band or these things where you're like, that's just not like people don't even realize that we have a band.
A lot of people don't. And it's funny too, because, band started with infantry. The whole as the military started, there were bands from the beginning. So I think it's like something people know, but they kind of assume that part fell away.
So what led you to the band in the Air National Guard? What state, by the way, for everyone?
I'm in Tennessee now. I actually started in Illinois. And really what led me to it was my high school band director. She was in the Army band that I joined at first. She started talking to me about it when I was 16 years old and encouraging me to think about it, to come visit, to check it all out. And it's funny because I had absolutely no interest in the military. I was like nobody joins the military anymore, right? Like I honestly had no idea about it. She pushed and pushed and pushed, asked me to come visit her band over and over. I finally did, honestly, just to make her stop asking me about it. I was tired of hearing about it. So I told my mom, I'm going to go visit this Army band with Mrs. Goldberg. And my mom's like, well, you don't want to be in the Army, do you? And I was like, no, who wants to be in the Army?
Yeah.
And so I finally went and visited. And it was like, I had never sat in a musical group that was that good. Like the discipline, the focus, the playing, like it was a different situation than I had ever been in. And I had, been there for a few hours, and she came up to me and she said, what do you think? And I was like, oh, I love it. I can't believe this. And so we talked about it. I talked to a recruiter. I talked to my mom a lot. I made the decision to join the Army when I was 16 years old, and I ended up raising my hand and joining 3 days after I turned 17.
Oh, wow.
So it was like, it was very uncharacteristic of me. I was not athletic. I was not like a tough person. I was a nerd. I was like school nerd, band nerd. Like you could just tattoo nerd on my forehead. It didn't matter why you were calling me that. It all applied. And it was very, uncharacteristic of me. But I ended up drilling my whole senior year of high school, went to basic training the summer between high school ending and college beginning. And it was a life-changing experience for me, for sure.
It hit some huge things right there. So you started out in the Army.
I did start in the Army.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put you on the spot because we don't have any pre-programmed or pre-listed questions but which song is better, the Air Force song or the Army song to play?
Oh, to play? I don't know. I like them both. We play them all the time because we still, even now, will play like a medley of all of the Force songs. And so I don't honestly have a choice. Like I don't have a particular one that I think is better.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was hoping to catch you with not prepared, and I was hoping you were going to say Army, but it's good. I understand.
I'll tell you a secret though. I know the Army words better than the Air Force words because I'm always playing. I'm not ever singing it.
Right.
I sang it in basic training, but I didn't go to Air Force basic training, so I didn't have that.
There you go. No, I mean it's so fascinating because we've got we did bunker labs, and one of the previous graduates in 21 Bravo was Ben Pattison, and I met him because he's with the old guard in the band, and he sang a cappella the national anthem.
Yeah. And
I was like, this is so cool. And now he's an entrepreneur, and he started his own company that's focused on getting kids into music. So it's fascinating because you forget about this. And then when we were deployed, I remember just how nice it was to have the band come out, and then going, we brought the band with us. That was it was one of those things, during OIF 1, where we were like, what's the band doing here for changing? It was just, I was expecting to hit record or something, or hit play on a cassette tape or something.
Right. And that's a common reaction to the band. And even, it's unfortunate, but a lot of people kind of push why the military would fund a band program. It feels, to people who don't understand the mission and what the band is actually accomplishing, it feels to them like a misappropriation of funds or wasted funds. And it is such a unique way for the military to fund such a variety of things that the band does. So we build, strengthen, and maintain relationships in 3 different ways. So we do it from between the United States and other countries. So where there are relationships that really need some strengthening, a band can be sent in to be this kind of not imposing, like we're just coming together to have a good time. And then when you listen to music and have a good time for a little while, it starts to make you feel like you're connected to that group, right? And so like I've been to other countries where people at first are like, I don't know if I want to listen to you. And then pretty soon you see them, kind of moving and bouncing and, tapping their foot. And then at the end, they're like, wow, I didn't think I could feel this way about Americans, but here I am feeling this way about Americans. So that's a really unique way that the military uses the band program to strengthen relationships. The second way is by connecting the military community with the civilian community and allowing us to go out, be the face of the military. A lot of times military feels like it's behind closed doors. So there's not a lot of access. You don't have anybody that you can really ask questions to. You don't really know what's going on. So we go into communities and we do public free concerts so that we can do a few things. We tell them about what the military members in that area have been doing lately, where their tax dollars are being spent, the kinds of efforts that are being made. And we also use that as a big opportunity to thank the veterans who have served and sacrificed, and thank the family members of those veterans who have also made a sacrifice themselves. And then the third thing that the military band program supports is the relationships between the military as an organization and the military as individual members. And so we do that with like military ceremonies where somebody's getting promoted, or there's like a change of command, or like a change of responsibility of a base or something. We'll be there to support something like that. But also going overseas and doing performances and concerts and little jam sessions for the people who are over there, sacrificing their time, putting themselves in harm's way, feeling stressed out a lot, and needing a little reminder of what it feels like to just relax, have something that feels normal and not stressful for the people who are over there serving our country. And so I've been able to see over the 21 years of serving, like so many times, so many benefits that are coming from the band program that the public at large, they're not seeing, they don't know, they don't realize, but it is truly making a difference in individual lives and the lives of so many people by strengthening relationships in so many different ways.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was just thinking back how powerful music is and how much pride I would have when the band started playing. I would stand up a little bit taller. I didn't lock my knees. I didn't pass out, but I'd stand up a little bit taller and have a sense of pride in what I was doing, why I was
Absolutely.
there. And it shows you how important it is and how music can actually affect, your mindset and everything. And I can remember, I wasn't fortunate enough to have a band that was traveling with me, but I did have a banjo and a guitar. Yes. And I would make, we had him on the show, Marshall. He would come in and play music for the entire company, and just the morale there, not necessarily words, but listening to the music, the instrument that was playing it, or the instrument was amazing and powerful. So,
and speaking of morale, we're in a time right now where a lot of people feel like we're very divided. But when you come together and you can inspire patriotism and everybody stands together and they feel like we're all together in this, like that's changing our nation as well. So every time a band goes out and creates a feeling of unity and patriotism in the crowd, like that's doing a big service to our country as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, well, one, James had Grand Ole Opry with him. So that was pretty cool. But what we were talking about with the international, absolutely. So one of my jobs was I was in charge of all the regional and some of the NATO exercises while we were stationed in Germany. And when we would do the opening ceremonies, having the band there was pretty neat, because it's not a recording. You have a band and everyone's you get to see everybody just change, and it's always neat. And then again, I remember I was frustrated by losing my soldiers. This is 82nd, by losing my soldiers to the choir. James, you probably remember this when I first got to 82nd. I was like, where are all my people? Well, they were on the Bosnia mission, and then I had like 4 soldiers in the 82nd Choir. And if I'm being honest, I was like, what a waste. I just lost 4 infantry soldiers to go sing in the choir. But then you see them perform and you see what they're doing in the community. I'm like, okay, it's pretty cool. But at the same time, there's the balance. There's the struggle between, as you're saying, Lori, is it a waste of misappropriation of funds, or is it going to do this? Depends on where you're at. If you really are trying to build strong bonds with the community, international partners, then absolutely. Exactly. But and so what I like with you all is you're in the band, and James asked this in the green room. What's your second job?
I don't actually have one.
Right.
That is what I do in the military. It's our full focus. And a lot of times people will ask me, like, what do you do on a drill weekend? Well, it varies. If we have a performance, we actually go and perform. If we don't, we are becoming mission ready. We're either taking care of medical needs on base or rehearsing and making sure that we are always performance ready, so that if something comes, we're ready at the drop of a hat to go and, represent the Air Force and the United States with as much of as the high standards as I was talking about as is expected of us.
Yeah, but there's so much that comes out from the music again. So as you look at it, my point of asking that question was, in the Army side, we have, they have double jobs, right? They have additional duties and stuff like that. And
they do on the Army side, yes.
Yeah, and then especially when we're trying to create a choir out of hide, it does come from the ranks. And so you lose 3 and you're like, man, I wish we had a dedicated choir. Just saying, the All-American song. But again, it's there. Oh gosh, now we have Air Force coming in.
Go Air Force. I have to cheer with you, DJ.
But no, I love it, and it's so unique though. These, again, being in the band, it blows my mind. How many different instruments do you play? Or what's your
My primary instrument is French horn. I also sing in the rock band, which is so much fun. When I was in high school, I actually started in band on percussion. So I have all the percussion stuff, learned music by playing piano. So I can play piano, percussion, and I also played trumpet. After I started playing French horn, I went to a really small high school. So it was like, you can play a brass instrument, go ahead and play trumpet too, because we need somebody in the jazz band and we don't have enough trumpets. Yeah. So yeah, I have a few instruments under my belt.
That is, I agree with you, DJ. How cool is that? That is so cool. I think, James and I, we play a really mean kazoo, and that's about it. I don't know, James, do you actually play anything?
Well, no, I didn't have the discipline enough to stay at it. I would get improvement to a certain level, like the guitar and the trombone, and then I would just get frustrated with it and then just quit. And I kick myself now as the older that I am. Looking back, I'm like, man, if I would have just stayed at that, during the deployment, I was going to learn how to play the guitar. I didn't, So if I would have done that, just think about the things that I can't do. But I can sing. Marty, I could sing like the best of them, though. That was
he did sing on one of our shows. He sang Moana, and so I was impressed that he would actually sing. But let me ask you this, Lori. You've done this now for a little bit, just a little bit of time now. What is one of the memories where you're like, wow, I love my job. I'm really making an impact.
Oh gosh, just one.
We'll start with one. We'll go from there.
Yeah, I think earlier I referenced playing to a crowd who later told me that they didn't think they could feel like that toward Americans. That was in Slovakia, actually. I was a part of a small group that was sent over to augment the band in Germany. They were about to deploy individuals to the Middle East. Those individuals were taking their leave time right before they were deploying, and it was around the 4th of July. And so they had a lot of requests coming in that they knew without that group of people, they wouldn't be able to maintain, the high performance standards that they had. So they asked for some support, and my band was the one that sent some people over. So I went over to augment the German band, the American band in Germany. Right. And we traveled and performed. And this was in Slovakia. We were in a very small community in a city called Nitra. And we were in a park. And the people there, it was funny because the whole show, we would play a song. It was a rock band that was playing. They would sit there. You could see their feet tapping, a little bit of this. But that's it. And we would ask them, like, dance with us. They would sit there, faces straight, no reaction until we were done playing. The song would end and they would say, yay! Big applause. And then we would start again and they would sit still. Their faces would go back down. And so we're like, the whole show, we're like, we have no idea how we're being received, right? It was like, I don't know what they think of us. And then after the show, we went out. They encouraged us to go out and mingle with the audience so that we can, hear stories and communicate and grow bonds. And this man told me, I don't like Americans. But I like you.
Right.
And I was like, wow, and he was like, but I don't like, this is the first time I've ever liked an American. And it was like, whoa, like and he was quite animated about his feelings. And to watch him soften and go, but I do feel differently now. But I don't, like, I'm not sure how I feel, but you did change my mind. It was like this, you can see that you've actually changed a life. And it may just be this one person, but you don't know what he's going to go back and talk about and tell about this experience that he just had. And it was like that one little moment of realization of like, I can see how change happens. It happens a little bit at a time and then it spreads. Yep. And I have goosebumps right now just talking about that.
That is right in line with like empathy and trust, right? The power story. It's the same thing with that. You could, I was just thinking about that while you're saying that. I was like, man, that's probably the intention behind it, right? You could actually break those barriers or those obstacles that are in your way, and you can lower their defenses and invite them into the music. And the beauty about what you're doing is it's not about words, it's about the music.
Exactly.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, we and that just reiterates what we used to say is countries do not form bonds. It's the people that do.
Right.
And we did that through our exercises. You do it through music. We have different ways where that's how you form those strong bonds.
Yes.
That is so awesome. James, DJ and others are ready to hear you sing.
Well, the bad thing is right now, today, I haven't had my water. Like I'm drinking coffee, and you know what happens to the vocal cords when you drink coffee. So I'm going to have to pass right now. I'm going to take the Texas option and the El Paso. Well, that was a bad but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pass right now.
Trying to sound like a true professional there, claiming about the coffee. Got it.
Right. He has to like,
I got to warm up.
To his vocal cords.
Warm it up.
Awesome. What's the favorite place that you visited while being in the International Guard Band?
Oh, gosh. Well, we went so many amazing places. I was deployed to the Middle East in 2018. And I think probably my favorite place that we went there was Pakistan. It was
really
beautiful. And the people there it was really strange. It was like almost every person that we encountered and had a conversation with asked us, do you feel differently about Pakistanis now that you've met some of us than you did before you got here? Do you like us?
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, and it wasn't just one person. It was like this continuous question that we were asked, like, do you like us better now that you know us? And so it was, that was really interesting. But I had so many amazing experiences when I was deployed that it's really hard for me. And I've been so many places. It's really hard for me to pick one, but Pakistan was gorgeous.
But I'm a little jealous here because, for a little bit of time I was in the National Guard, and the only places I got to see was Camp Shelby, Mississippi, and
beautiful.
Fort Irwin, California, and then Iraq. That's the only places I got to see because of my being a member of the National Guard. So I'm a little jealous. I should have played. I should have kept playing the trombone. I'm so upset with myself right now. Gosh.
Yeah, I have been a lot of places with the Air National Guard. It's really, it has created a life beyond any imagination that I could have ever dreamed up for myself.
Yeah, I mean, on a serious note, you mentioned it earlier too. when you were speaking about how important it is. And I used to tell my soldiers this as being in the guard. You know, you gotta have self-discipline even more than anyone else, because you get to go home after a battle assembly or a drill assembly, and you got to do your own PT. So you got to keep yourself physically fit, ready to go. And then not only that, drop your life, whatever you're doing, at a moment's notice, and then, you know, put on the uniform. So, you know, my hat's off to you. Thank you for mentioning that. And like I said, it just validated what I told my soldiers over the years. So thanks.
Well, you know, it's something that I used to not share about. I had a lot of shame about it, and I never shared about it. But the reason that I left the Army National Guard is that I could not maintain my PT standards. And I failed 2 tests in a row, and I was let go. And I honestly, at that point, I think I was 20 years old, and I was in college, and it was like, I had other things on my plate, and I let it go. 5 years later, thank goodness, a chance meeting with somebody who used to be in the Air National Guard and talked to me about it and said, you know, do you ever think about going back in? And I said, honestly, I don't know if I could, because I got kicked out because I failed PT tests. And he said, you could get back in. If you wanted a second chance, you could have one. And it was like, I know if I do this, I have to have the self-discipline. I'm not going to let this happen to me twice. And I can proudly say I have passed every PT test that I've had since I joined the Air National Guard 5 years after I got out of the Army. So that I had the realization, it's like, you don't know what you've got till it's gone.
Right.
I lost what I valued so much, and it was such a devastating blow. I mean, like I said, it was a source of shame. I didn't tell very many people that I had been in the Army because I didn't want to have to talk about why I got out. And now I see that talking about that is just like me showing that just because you think you've made a mistake that has ruined something in your life doesn't necessarily mean that you have, but also how important self-discipline is in so many different things. I've used it so much in building my business. Like that self-discipline that I've had for all these years, like, has seeped into my character. And it's what has allowed me to build the business that I have today. So it's like, it's so important to me. And I do share that story now because I know that other people have found themselves in a position where they feel like they've let themselves down. Possibly self-discipline had something to do with it, but you can build that muscle back up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love that, because we forget, you know, that these little things that seem like failures were actually preparing us for that next chapter, for something else that we don't even realize. And you mentioned your business. What I want to do is let's cut to commercial and let's dive deep into what you're doing now as an entrepreneur. Okay. All right.
You're watching the Lounge with Legends TV show with your hosts, Marty Martinez and James A. Feltz.
All right. See what I'm saying, Lori? If you're just tuning in, we've got Lori Reeves here. She's Air National Guard, band, and BrandStrength CEO. And that's what we're about to talk to you right now. What is BrandStrength, and how did you start on this?
So BrandStrength is a consultancy where I work with entrepreneurial service providers to help them end the feast or famine cycle that they find themselves in their business and develop a strong offering using what they already know, the knowledge and insight that they already have, so that they can have a unique, high value offering that stands out from competitors. I got into this. I kind of backed myself into it, to be honest. I started as a freelance web designer, and I was a web designer for 4 years. Started noticing that a lot of the people who were coming to me for websites were, it was like the same thing happening again and again and again. The people they had started their business. They wanted it to be bigger than it was. They assumed that a new website was what they needed. They would come to me expecting me to build them a better business instead of a better website. And I started realizing, like, I'm not getting what I need from these people to actually improve their business. A prettier website does not a better business make. So right. I realized, okay, so I need to take a step back and figure out how to help them, use this new website as a better business tool. And so I realized at that point that I wasn't able to help people as much as I wanted to, and I felt like they needed help getting their messaging right. And so I decided that copywriting was the piece that was missing, and I put the brakes on being a web designer, took a step back. This was right around the time that I was deployed to the Middle East as well. So it worked out well that I took a step back and stopped doing my web design. But I was deployed, and then I came back and enrolled in Ray Edwards' copywriting program, became a Ray Edwards certified copywriter, and then opened my doors back up with the thought that I can either help people just with their copy, or I can do the whole package: copy, website, all of it. So I started talking to people again. And I assumed that I just wasn't asking the right questions before, and I didn't know what questions to ask. So when I opened my doors back up, I was really excited because I was like, now I know the questions to ask. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to help people grow their businesses. It's going to be so cool. So I start talking to people and asking them these right questions that they couldn't answer.
Right.
And I was like, what now? Like, how is this happening? Because I know what questions to ask now. I know what questions produce good copy, but the people that I was talking with they hadn't done the foundational work on their business. And I started realizing these are people who had an idea. They knew they had a skill or a talent. They have a passion to help people and change the world in some way. And they just decided to go after it, and they started their business. They started before they were ready, which I think is perfect because you never actually feel ready. So I encourage people to start before they're ready. But it was like, instead of going ready, set, go, it was like they were like, set, just throw that away, ready, go. But they never went back to the set step and actually set a firm foundation for their business. So everything. And of course, like, you get out there and you realize you don't have to be a service provider. You have to be a service provider and a marketer and a financial person and a customer service rep and a graphic designer and a social media expert. Like, you have to be all these things. And they get out there and they're like, oh my God, this is hard. I don't know what to do. And they're so fractioned on what they're trying to do that they feel like they don't have the time to go back to that foundational aspect. There's so many other things going on. But until you get that foundation set, none of the other stuff matters anyway. It's not going to land because it's not going to be cohesive. It's not going to be compelling. It's not going to be consistent. And so I realized that what I need to do is to help people understand how to answer the questions that I now had for them. And that's where BrandStrength came from. It was it was built out of my realization that I know how to build relationships with people. I've been working on this for over 20 years in the military, like understanding how to have a show and appeal to wide audiences with different music and have different messages that are all incorporated and consistent. Right. And I realized, like, I have all this knowledge. I can use it in a different way. And that's where BrandStrength came from.
Yeah. So I like how you pull from your military knowledge and background. Was it kind of like those, wait a minute, I can do this. I've been doing this forever.
It was kind of, it kind of was like that, but it was also like, I know how to do this. I'm not 100% sure why. And then, like, later dawned on me, like, oh, like, of course, like I have experience doing this in the past. And so I actually do help people. Like, we brainstorm, like, what have you done in the past that worked well for you? I'm not talking about business. I'm just talking about, like, I created this system when I was studying so that I could, make sure that I passed my tests. okay, well, let's break that down and see what you can pull from that and use in your business. That's unique information that you have. That's like one of your unique superpowers. So how can we add that in and make you stand out because you have this specific skill that you can then impart to your clients? So it's like understanding how to pull from everything that you are to create something that is unique and that you are so convinced that you know you can help people with because you have so much evidence that it works, because you developed the system and it worked for you, right? And when you have that conviction, that complete confidence that you know how to help someone, you sell what you do so differently than when you feel like you're just an option, like they could pick me or this person or that person. I hope they pick me. I'm not sure why they will. Maybe it's my price. Maybe it's what I said. Like, I'm not sure why people are picking me. But when you have this firm foundation and you know that everything that you're doing everywhere is working to bring the right people to you in a way that's actually going to lead them to hire you, then you just sell everything so much different. You talk about it differently. You talk about it more often. It feels like less stress of like, what am I going to talk about? What am I supposed to share on social media? Like all of it just kind of clears up and it's like, oh, I see what I'm supposed to do.
Right. No, that's that clarity is so powerful.
It really is.
And it's hard to put a price on that. And it's also hard to kind of explain how you're going to feel with the clarity. And that's where, well, it's not hard if you have a copywriter, right? That can say, this is the clarity that you're going to have once you go through the BrandStrength program you have, and you'll be able to do this.
Exactly. It's like any hobby that you have that you've had for a long time. Do you ever feel weird sharing what you know about that? Do you ever feel like a fraud or an imposter? Like never. Why would you? You have so much experience. You know that you're good at this. You don't have that. So when you're feeling imposter syndrome, it's because you yourself aren't convinced that you should be sharing what you're sharing. Right. And until you can convince yourself that you should be, you're going to have that imposter syndrome. But if you can get that clarity and that foundation, like I said, like you share from a different position. And it comes through in everything. It comes through in the information you share, and it comes through in your ease in sharing it. Yeah. And that makes all the difference in the world when you're trying to connect with people and instill trust in them, that they can trust you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what allows, as we say in our world, coming in with empathy and authority, because you can say, I get it. I understand where you're at.
Yeah.
And I can help you move the football this way. And here's the plan. Here's how you do it.
Right.
So, and that's why, well, you know, we that's how we met. I forget which room we were in. We were doing something, but I was talking StoryBrand. You were talking Ray Edwards. I mentioned the pastor. You're like, I know that. I'm like, yeah, we talk about that all the time because it's just a great way to write copy and help people, you know, understand what you do, you know.
But again, you have to fully understand what you do and who your clients are before you can write that copy. Absolutely. And if you're out there, like you've done a little bit of it, but you're out here doing all these different things at the same time, you don't have those answers that you need to write that compelling messaging.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job. I'm just sitting here nodding my head. That's right. You're right. Yes, I can relate to. You're doing a wonderful job with that because it's inviting them. And you invited me into your story just now because I could totally relate to those clients that come to you and they're not ready. They have no clue. But then I picked up on this from you. It's still about that service and doing good.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people, that's where people, you know, I get frustrated because there's some folks out here that are using, I'm not going to say the Jedi mind tricks, but they're using the story, but they're not doing it for good. That's when I get frustrated.
But my favorite people to work with are those people who just have this passion in themselves to help others. And they know that they have a gift that can improve lives. Like those are my absolute favorite people. And when I meet them and we start talking about what their dream is, and you can see their face light up and they have this vision of helping the world. And when you can help them put the pieces together of, oh, okay, so what if you do this to help them? And they're like, oh, I never thought of that. Like that is just like, it's like eating candy to me. Like I cannot get enough of it. It is so fun and so good. And it's what I live for. So I love people who are on fire for the change that they want to make in the world. And I don't want to let that fire burn out. It scares me so much to see that fire starting to dim and people going, I don't know that I'm cut out for this. I don't know that I can do this, because the world needs the change that you want to make. It does. You see how many people are suffering and hurting in this world. And if you have a passion for helping those people, I want to help you ignite that passion and make sure that you can make it a reality. Like that's what I live for.
Yeah. And Brian's saying, I get that, he gets it. And we got DJ, what resource are you talking about? Her resource, or let us know back in the comment. We'll pull you back up. But no, absolutely. Oh, I missed this one. Donnell wants you to sing, James.
It's over and over.
There's a lot of pressure.
Wait a minute. Nick's saying no, don't.
That's 30 minutes ago. Man. You did a great job also, Lori. Oh, I'm sorry, Marty. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying you did a great job earlier, and I found myself, I watch your videos because I know that Brand Strength you do a lot of mentorship, and coaching on your videos. And one of the recent videos that actually Marty sent me was about vulnerability. And you shared that right before we went to the break. And I was like, she just used her 3 steps that she told everybody. So there's no secret. You're actually just sharing exactly, and you're actually doing exactly what you're saying you're doing. So,
well, I know there are a lot of people out there who are trying to give you just enough information so that you have to pay them to learn more. And it's like, I feel the fatigue. You go into, somebody invites you to speak, and it's like people have this wall up because they're like, I don't even really want to listen to you because I know you're going to pitch something at the end. And so I think we need to, when you start realizing that that's the general consensus of people, you have to start changing what you're doing and showing that you have substance, you have help to share, and that is your true purpose. Like, my purpose is to help people. And there are some people who will get help from me and never pay me a dime. And that's fine with me, because my whole goal is to help people go out and do the work in the world that they dream of doing, that they envision changing the world. That's my whole goal. And I know that if that's my impetus, that, I feel like karma will come back and give me what I need, whether it comes from people paying me because I help them or some other way.
Yeah. No, and I love that, because that's why we started our company, because we said there's so many entrepreneurs that really they want to become successful, but there's too many fake gurus out there, and they're buying these get rich quick programs, and they're buying, like you said, I'm waiting for the pitch, and then you want me to upsell me, and it leaves us as well, because this is what happened to us, frustrated, broke, and like you were just swindled. And so, so I think, that's why you're here on the show. We definitely share that. DJ was asking for the book, your copywriting.
Oh, the copywriting. Yeah. Ray Edwards, he wrote a book called How to Write Copy That Sells. And then I did his certification program so that I could become a Ray Edwards certified copywriter.
And I'm pretty sure that she's not going to let you dim, DJ. Just reach out to her. We've got all your social media information is in the description of this. You can find it on there. And it's brandstrength.com.
No, it's .co.
.co. Okay.
Yeah. The .com was $6,000. And I was like, we're going to go with a .co on this one.
I get you. Yeah. But and there's Brian saying, there's gurus all over. You can get abs like me by popping this pill. And actually you have to just do the work, and do the work is the recurring theme. Just like you said, like we say, you've got to go all the way back and go back to the blocking and tackling. Who do you serve? How do you serve them? What problems are they facing? Why are you different? And then you can finally start to appeal to how you decide how you're going to appeal to them. Yes. But people like you said, they forget the set.
They do. And so I say, instead of ready, set, go, you do ready, go, set, grow.
Right. I like that.
I like that one.
And we got Donnell, who's all about let's grow. He's talking reach out to her, Donnell. She'd be a great VGA is Veterans Growing America. Donnell's a retired sergeant major. He's created this whole thing where veterans, he helps veteran entrepreneurs actually get in front of real people to sell their products. I think he's now branching out to services, but right now it's products that he can do. But that's and we have America's first veteran-only pop-up shop here in Potomac Mills, Virginia, or Woodbridge, Virginia. Sorry. So
very cool. I would love to connect.
Yeah, absolutely. So James, I'm sorry, you had a question, brother.
No, I was I was going to say something to Donnell, but you already hit it about the pop-up shop. So I mean, it's about the community helping one another out, and I just like your message, Lori. I just like what you're doing and how you're. I'm intrigued. I'll be honest, I haven't read the full book. I need to go ahead and get back into my Ray Edwards book. So now that you've mentioned that, I'm going to go back and get that. Marty's probably got it back there memorized because I know how he is. But
yeah,
he does. I got to get back in there and read that one, though.
Yeah, it will help you write good copy. It has like the whole description of the pastor framework and what it is and how you know about like what order to put all the information that you are putting in your sales messages in. And I think, too, one thing that I want to mention is that a lot of the gurus that are out there who are trying to make money off of you, it's like they're trying to tell you, like, here's a little bit of information. You pay me for that. Then if you want the real information, you pay me for this. But then if you want the real information, you pay me for this. And it's like, again, we're so tired of that. And I truly believe that if you are already serving clients and you're seeing results, you have all the knowledge and insight that you need to create a standout offering. You don't need to learn more. You don't need another program. You just need to know how to take what you know already and some new questions that you can ask yourself that will allow your insights to inform you even more. You have knowledge that you may not understand that you can tap into. And it's all about asking yourself the right questions. Like this is so funny because I tell myself this all the time. Like, if you ask yourself, like, why can't I do this? Your brain will go to work answering the question, why you cannot do something.
Right.
Your brain works for you. Whatever you ask it, it will go to work to answer for you. So if you're asking it questions like, why can't I do this? Why am I never good at this? What's wrong with me? It's going to look for evidence that will support the answer of that question, right?
Yep.
However, if you ask it questions like, how can I figure this out? What could I do differently that would make a difference? Your brain will go, it's like it looks through all the knowledge that you have, all the experience, all the things that you've seen. And it's like, oh, that could help. Oh, don't forget, this could help. And I just used this the other day. I just got home from a trip. I could not find a pill, like a bottle of pills. And I was like looking through everything and I was like, why can't I find this? Oh my God, how could I lose this? And then I'm like freaking out because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't think they're going to send me another bottle. Like I just lost it. And so then I was like, hold on. I'm asking myself the wrong question.
Right.
How can I remember where I put it? How can I find this medicine? And I was like, I'm just going to let my brain go to work on that. And I went to bed and I closed my eyes and they popped back open. And I was like, it's in my computer bag. I remember putting it in there because I put my computer bag in an air conditioned room and I didn't want the medicine to sit in my car. And I was like, that's it. Like it changed everything because before when I was asking myself, why can't I find this? My brain was just answering that question. It's because you're not smart. It's because you never remember things. It's because you didn't remember where you put it. It's like, no, your brain, I mean, we all know our brain uses like what, 10% of, right? But it's storing information. Your brain will work for you. If you don't expect your brain to work for you, guess what? It's not going to work for you.
Yep.
But if you know what questions to ask, you end up accessing information that you didn't even realize you had. It's like something that you saw once, or it starts looking, your reticular activation system. It's like, oh, you're looking for this. Let's look for that. And it's like, you're taking in information much more than you can actually attend to, but your brain is filtering that information. So when you ask it something specific, it's like filtering and it will go, oh, look over here. here's what you need to look for. And that's where you find it. And it's like, if you just know, instead of trying to learn something new, just understand how to access what's in you to bring out the best of what you know. That's the key right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what we talk about a lot, is your brain is a supercomputer. And what you have to do is just, when you get in those moments, walk around the table and just rephrase it. Is it, like you said, how can I do this?
Yes.
And it really is.
Computer screens on.
What's that?
Some people have more computer screens on at the same time.
I do. I'm one of those people. I will not tell you how many browser tabs I have open. It's embarrassing.
I've always got at least 50 on 3 different ones. But the point is, your mind is a supercomputer, and you have to be careful with what you tell yourself as well.
You do.
As you're saying, why can't I find this? It also listens to when you say, oh, I'm not good at math. Oh, I'm not good at remembering names. Well, then guess what? You're not good at math, and you're not going to remember names because you're programming your brain that way.
Right.
And so be kind to yourself, especially if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a transitioning service member. You're going to go through this up and down. And so when you're in these places, just think about rephrasing the question.
Absolutely.
So
just real quick, I know it's coming to the top of the hour, but that's a great message, Marty, just because I was thinking about you, Marty, when you told me, why are you not reading? Why did you stop reading? I couldn't answer that question. So guess what I started doing after you asked that one question? I started reading. Right. I started reading. And that's the illustration of how important it is to have accountability partners and a mentor. So, Lori, that's what you are, accountability partner and a mentor. So how can people find you that want to find you for mentorship and coaching and guidance?
Well, you can go to brandstrength.co. I'm also BrandStrength. If you go to Facebook, you can find me there, Instagram as well. I have a YouTube channel. I don't have enough subscribers yet to be able to put BrandStrength on that, but I will as soon as I can. But you can search Lori Reeves on YouTube and find me there as well.
Sweet.
And LinkedIn. I'm Lori Nelson Reeves on LinkedIn, I believe.
All right.
I just sent you a connect list, so hopefully you'll connect with me on LinkedIn. I got to ask her to show just to put some pressure on you.
Oh, I'll connect with you.
So help her out. Here's her YouTube channel. If you go to it, you can click on that. Go to it right now so that she can get the pretty vanity one that we have, and she can be a cool kid. So go support her, check her out. And I think it's that time now, James, to ask you the question. Lori, you have served and sacrificed so much, and you're still serving. And so you're unique. You're not like us. James and I are old guys. You're still serving. So we ask you, you've served, you've sacrificed. What does freedom mean to you?
Freedom to me means that I have the ability to design my life the way I want it. It's really important to me to be an entrepreneur because I want the freedom and flexibility that being an entrepreneur provides. I want freedom and flexibility in my time and in my location. So, and I think sometimes when I say that, people assume that when I say I want flexibility or freedom in my time, that means that I don't work very much. It's very opposite. I work probably way more than I should, but I decide when I do it. And I make my schedule the way I want it to be. And that's what freedom means to me, is to have that extreme control over my life and to be able to design it just the way I want.
Awesome. If I can get my mouse back. I love it. Freedom to design your life. That's perfect. That's what it's all about. I don't even know how to follow up on that. That's amazing. And people are already coming in and talking about, thank you for being on the show. Great representing the Air Force. Great show. Casey's already employing the remember stuff. He remembered to vote for me. And if you're not familiar, if you're not tracking what he's talking about, Military Influencer Conference, they're doing a vote for the speakers. I am one of them. So if you are so inclined, I would love if you guys could go in there and vote for me and James. We'll be there talking about our imposter syndrome and how to tell your epic story. And that's going in the comments right now. So thanks, Casey. Thanks for the support. Lori, it's been an absolute pleasure. And we appreciate you being here and for everything you do and bringing a little bit of music into our life.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been amazing.
Oh, I appreciate it. We're going to put you in the agreement. We'll follow up with you right after this. Let's close out the show. Thank you. James, I told you it's going to be epic.
Yeah, I've got lost in the story. I got lost in there and I didn't realize what time it was. Time went by.
Right, I know. There's the link. I know DJ was just asking for it. There it is. That's for the proposals. Go in there. You can vote. You can vote for me and other people in there that you would really want to listen to. This will be in Vegas, Military Influencer Conference, the 26th and 29th of October. So go in there, check us out, and I appreciate it. But this has been an amazing episode. Thanks, James. And any parting words as I close it out?
Airball.
Of course. All right. Thank you, brother.
You've been watching the Lounge with Legend show, countering the narrative that veterans are all broken misfit toys. Veterans are the lifeblood of American freedom. Serving in harsh situations, coupled with their training, have forged them into some of the most resilient and capable leaders in the world. And that's where we come in, celebrating the success stories, taking you on a journey of transformation from military to business. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be back soon. But find us on Facebook at Lounge with Legend or at JTF214. Till next time.